It was bound to happen. Things were going way too smoothly, way too well for my own good. This week, for the first time in a long time, I lost it. Not once, but twice. I try my best as a teacher to keep calm, keep my composure, react when appropriate. But I have to admit that this week, 2 incidents happened that made me lose it. The first one is not directly linked to my teaching. It happened with students, it happened during lunch, and it involves an extracurricular activity. So I'm not necessarily going to talk about that because that felt more like something triggered something personal to me. The reaction was not a reaction that was based in logic. It was a gut reaction. The story that I'm about to share with you had to do with my teaching and my classroom and what I expect of my students. So what I need to clarify first, as I'm about to tell this story, is some of the things that I do as a teacher. First of all, I deal with Sec 5 students, senior students, students who are literally on their way out of high school. So I deal with them a bit differently than I would maybe a grade 7 or grade 8 student. The students I have in my classroom are usually students who, you know, they've had their fair share of years of high school and they can't wait to get out. I understand that reality and I deal with them as I would another human being, with respect. I praise them, I encourage them, but I make it very clear with them that they don't need another mommy to nag them, to mother them, to remind them of what they need to do and what not to do. And also I have to recognize that a lot of these students have baggage and are dealing with realities that are hard to comprehend, are realities and situations that I don't wish on anyone. So they come into my classroom with this baggage, and I don't want, who am I to judge? I don't want to judge. I don't want to judge. Who am I to judge and to say that your reality is more difficult than that kid's reality? I don't. Everybody's got their cross to bear, their baggage to carry. And I make it clear at the beginning of the year that if they come to tell me and they announce to me, Madame la Prof, I can't deal with French this year. If you don't see me in French class, it's nothing personal. I have this that I need to deal with. I'm going to appreciate, recognize, acknowledge that candor, the courage that they had to share that with me. And I will say, my door is right there. If you need to leave, you leave. But the moment you come into my classroom, it is because you are committed to work and you are accepting my expectations, what I expect from my students in my class. And I will harbor no resentment to a student who will say, Miss, this is not for me this year, has nothing to do with you, once again, but I need to deal with my baggage. I need to deal with my reality. And I get that. And I make it abundantly clear. And I even have moments like that. Teachers will have days where, you know what, there's a lot of stuff going in here, and we need to take time to deal with it. And I personally take mental health days to deal with that stuff. This student was using their cell phone in my class. Before I continue with the story, I need to make it clear that we have in our code of conduct clear rules, regulations about the use of technology in the classroom. The teacher is allowed to permit the cell phone in class if it's for an educational purpose. And when you're in Sec 5, in Secondary 5, in grade 11, you should be able to manage the use of technology in an appropriate manner. I make a point of clarifying that to my students, especially if they're in grade 11, that you need to learn to manage your behaviors when it comes to technology. You need to learn to use technology as a tool, especially your cell phone. So if I catch you playing games, spending way too much time on Spotify, or texting, or messaging people, or taking photos when you're not supposed to, you expect consequences. So this student, after being told, maybe twice, to tackle their work, had the audacity to say, "Can't I text, I'm dealing with a situation, this is my personal time." I'm paraphrasing. But the student clearly said, "This is my personal time." Your personal time? Your personal time? You are in my classroom and you're saying personal time? The door is there. The door is there. Please, go deal with what you need to deal with. I encourage you to deal with whatever matter is pressing, troubling you, causing anxiety in you, that you feel compelled that needs to be dealt with now. I get it. I get it. And I even, once or twice, it has happened, apologize to my students. I need to deal with this. I need to deal with this. If I don't deal with this now, it's going to blow up in my face. I apologize. I deal. I come back. I focus on my teaching. But if you set foot in my classroom, it is not your personal time. When I show up to school, it is no longer my personal time. It is no longer Madame la Prof is playing video games or watching Netflix or cleaning her house. It's not that Madame la Prof. It's Madame la Prof who is here pour enseigner le français. When my students come in to this classroom, it is to do the work, it is to participate, it is to put in the efforts that are necessary. It is not personal time. And I went on an epic rant. I told the entire classroom, if you show up here, I don't care if you are going to ace the exam or fail the exam, or learn one thing, nothing, or 25 new things. You are here to do work, and I will be your biggest cheerleader. If you tell me, "Miss, I can't deal with this today," I will gladly, happily encourage you to step outside, to go deal with what you need to deal with, and then come back. Because that's what a responsible person does. You don't bring the drama into my classroom. You don't impose the drama onto other people. You deal with it. So if I lost it, yesterday, it wasn't because I'm pissed or upset at the student. It's at the fact that somewhere, somehow, that student did not understand how to prioritize, how to figure out what needed to be dealt with. It's brutal. It's brutal because it saps a lot of my energy. And if the student in question ends up seeing this video for whatever reason, don't hate you. I just hope that you deal with whatever you need to deal with, and when you do come in class, You're not twiddling on your phone. You're actually committed to learning French and committed to ensuring your success. So that's about it from me on this sunny but very chilly Friday morning. Have yourselves an awesome day.